Metro on WDET. I'm Tia Graham. Now, Hamtramck has a vibrant arts scene. In duplexes around the city, you can hear people playing in the local band or practicing their comedy. Those people are often young and queer. Now, the artistic and sobriety space, Passenger Recovery, is trying to do even more to foster and protect that talent and to expand its programming. As part of that effort, the Hamtramck Queer Alliance recently started hosting movie nights at Passenger. To discuss all the changes happening at Passenger and the ways they're expanding their collaborations, we have two guests with us. Bryan Wolf is Director of Programming at Passenger Recovery. He is also a music and sound professor and an educator. And Tim Price is Outreach and Marketing Director of Social Media for Passenger Radio, WHCK. He is also the founder and curator of the Christopher Street Gallery in Hamtramck. Bryan, Tim, welcome to the Metro.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, Tim, we're going to start with you. As someone who has served 2 terms as a chairperson for the Hamtramck Arts and Culture Commission, talk about Hamtramck Queer Alliance and its efforts to support the city's queer community.
Well, that kind of spun out of the Arts Commission, actually, because we actually were part of the Pride Flags. We got that from the former Mayor Karen. And then, so then that activism out of that, what happened, the neighbors and the community just got together and they wanted to form their own organization. So then they asked me to be part of it. I wasn't living in Hamtramck. And so, it just kind of an organic way it happened. And it was amazing. So then just to show face, because they were like, we're here. We're not going anywhere with what's going on. And then just tying it into the arts, because there is such a vibrant connection between the two. So, and that's how it kind of came together, and that's how we got involved with Passengers too. So
that was going to literally how did you two
pivot,
meet?
There we go.
Exactly. How did you two meet?
Take it, Bryan.
Yeah, actually, we got together. That was the meeting with Chris and Angus and Tim and I. We got together and sat down, and at that time, I had met Chris Tate through my recovery activities, and he had started Passenger in 2016 to help touring musicians and touring creatives passing through Detroit. And we got to know each other and decided to realize his dream of opening a community center. We did some grant writing and got some support from the state of Michigan, from MDHHS, and we were able to open the Recovery Center in February of last year.
Amazing.
Yes, and we opened on Kniff, and Tim was immediately involved, and we started, again, what we do is using music and the arts as a pathway to recovery. It's an amazing connector. It's an amazingly powerful tool of communication to really help people through especially the early parts of recovery from substance use disorder. And we've been very successful, have a lot of people coming through, making use of our services. And we did just recently move, and that's been fantastic for us, being in a new space over on Christopher Street next to the Folding Warehouse, where we've been able to do, for example, the film nights and really expand our creative activities, including music events. We had a Neuro Arts Festival recently, the film nights. We want to expand our concert events, and, of course, the radio station, which has been really successful.
I mean, I have so many follow-ups to go there because, I definitely want to know about the expanded community events that you all are having, because they're so specific to the community that you all are housed in. So we're going to get back to that. But Tim, coming back really quickly, because you talked about those movie nights, both of you. And one of the reasons I reached out, because I said, this is amazing to hear that this is happening, especially in a new space that is the Passenger Community Center. So Tim, Queermatic, you used to call it.
Yeah, well, it was Moon Gay was what I in Berlin. And it was one of my favorite things living in Berlin for 10 years was going to, it was called Moon Gay every Monday. And there's so much more, the queer community, everybody just thinks it's bars and getting crazy or all that kind of stuff. But there's so much more to it too. And that's the thing too. And we're bringing arts and culture into that. So yeah, and then there's a huge queer cinema. There used to be a lot of gay film festivals and stuff. And I'm just a cinephile in that. So I just love doing that. So what better way to get people together? And we've had some engagements and stuff and just learning too. I think we talked about Carl Bean the other day. And that was amazing to know his history and the connection even to Motown and Detroit. Detroit always has a connection anyways, you know how we are. So it was cool.
I love to say that Detroit is like the blueprint for so many things.
Globally, too. It's just crazy.
It is amazing. And Tim, just staying with you for a moment, just talking about arts and culture in Hamtramck right now in general, when we talk about the things that a Passenger Community Center has been able to begin to offer to the community, What's the arts and culture? What is it like right now?
It's there's a young youth. The rent is still pretty nominal, so there's still the good students there. The restaurants and that they work in stuff too. That's why they weren't going to go anywhere. So, and to be able to do things too, like a lot of pop-ups. There's the new barbershop gallery on Kniff where they do like have books and it's a photo, and they're doing some cool things. And Hatch, which is in the old police station, and just to bring, and that was the thing as the Arts Commission, we didn't want to as a volunteer organization, we're not in the capacity to produce a lot of things, but we want to be able to be there as a conduit to help promote what's already going on there in the city. And that's how we got tied into past years, because bringing what better way to have that as the hub for like our Neighborhood Arts Festival, which does like this year we had over 60 participants, 30 some locations. And then, so we had that as the hub for pickup the first day. And then Saturday was where we get your maps, and we had an artist market and DJs. And, it was just, we're just building that up, bringing my old party days of the 90s back.
We really do need that community feel, though. We need that let's all come together and just have a good time, a feeling, especially what we're happening in the world right now. But Bryan, bringing you, of course, into the conversation, I think about Passenger Community Center and the different ways that it's being used in general. And we talked about it before when we talked about some of the things that you wanted to bring to the community center and the space that you wanted to create. Have you seen some of that come to fruition, the goals that you've put out for yourself with the community center?
Well, absolutely. And first and foremost, it's important for us that the passenger space is a welcoming, comfortable space for all members of the community, whether it be LGBTQ or just other members of the community that come there and use it as a space to feel comfortable and safe and just hang out. But of course, as far as the activities go, for example, we had a Neuro Arts Festival where we had our music therapy offering, for example, and a concert event. We had our bandura artists coming through playing that very unique Ukrainian instrument. And I'm looking at expanding what we're doing with the concert offerings, but it's been a very, very good start. And for example, we do the meditative drum sessions. We have meditation and breathing sessions. We have, and of course, at the core of our offering is still the support for people in recovery. We have, in the meantime, now 11 meetings a week. And we're going to have something like, I think we're looking at numbers of about 3,500 to 4,000 people coming through the center this year for different events. So it's really starting to become, especially in our new expanded location, we're really grateful to have such a great space there in the Folding Warehouse administration building. We basically were able to double our space. We can have up to 3 events simultaneously. Wow. We had that actually going on recently. Meetings, events for the Hamtramck Mutual Aid meeting, for example, or the Hamtramck United Social Services, the HUS meeting. Wow. All sorts of different community organizations able to use the space. But again, our core is recovery and using music as the art. So just yesterday, we had our creative writing workshop, for example. I'll be doing my listening workshops again coming up, and the radio station, of course, also there at the heart of it. So it's a real hub for a lot of creativity in Hamtramck, and again, bridging gaps and helping people through recovering and helping people communicate and connect.
And just, Bryan, because you talked about it just a little bit earlier as well, the state of Michigan also gave you all a go-ahead to be a recovery center back in February. And I just think about all the things that you've been able to improve on and to expand on. And I saw that you were also going to be offering an expansion of music therapy offerings from the Michigan State University Community Music School. So what about the arts, especially when we talk about music therapy, when we talk about creative writing or those type of creative outlets, can it really help a person through their recovery? Because I think a lot of folks may not, see the benefit in some of those things, but how does it help?
Oh, there's incredible, it's evidence-based research. That's the main thing that we always really accent is the fact that this isn't just, it makes you feel better or things like that. There's really evidence that, for example, physiologically, things like getting your heart rate, your blood pressure down, really relaxing, and in terms of the mental benefits, getting centered, getting in a place of real mindfulness. It's possible to do that through music. And for example, what we offer with, as you mentioned, the Michigan State University Community Music School, which is located here, right near here on Woodward. They come in once a month, and we work with men who are in the Pope Francis Bridge Housing Center in Detroit. And they come in once a month, and they do music therapy sessions with one of the PhD level therapists there. And it's actually amazing how much that benefits, again, a sense of connection, things to talk about. You can connect through music. And it's got that physiological, that emotional, that that benefit where you really can help find your way through that very difficult early sobriety time, especially as you're working through to recovery, to really help find and center yourself. It has enormous benefits. And we're very pleased to be working with Professor Ed Roth, for example, who's now at the University of Houston, maybe also taking part peripherally in some studies showing some of the benefits of those things. So we're very excited about that. We would like to start expanding those things. We have some things on the horizon in terms of expansions of our music therapy offerings, and there's a lot of good work to be done, and we're very, very optimistic about what's going to be coming in the future.
Yes, yes. And as you're listening to the Metro right now, we're talking about the City of Hamtramck's Queer Alliance Passenger Community Center and how they support communities in the city. Our guests are Brian Wolf, Director of Passenger and Passenger Radio, and Tim Price, who is a longtime Hamtramck resident. He organizes events at community events, and he's also the founder of Christopher Street Art Gallery. Now, I want to bring you in, Tim, to talk about Christopher Street Art Gallery. Is it housed inside?
It is. When we found the location, because there's not much office space in Hamtramck, and I was on the scout team, me, Chris, and Brian, and Josh, and to look for locations. So, it was great. And then, I'd been talking to Chris about doing an art gallery element to it, because I had an art gallery in Midtown for a while and different things, and that's more my, my passion these days. So, and that brings people in too, because that's the thing too. And I don't want just a traditional gallery where people come in and they don't feel comfortable. So bringing a new audience to see art in a way is just like with music and anyway. So that was the best thing to do. And we had to have a ground floor location for the ADA disability people, so we can have meetings in the gallery if need be and things like that too. So, and it's a very rough Detroit kind of gallery too. It's kind of like the old, like everybody says, it reminds of this old party back in the day. But yeah, it's cool. It's got multiple rooms, and I like to develop and work with artists. So like the artist in there right now is Ashley Warden, who I've done probably about 10 shows with, and we've done different projects. We did the House of Tarot not too long ago, and we're working on different things like that. So yeah, it's just developing and working with a team, because that's how you can grow. Bringing that in. So, and
Tim, the significance of the name Christopher Street Gallery, because you said it kind of just all it just worked out.
Came together organically, because when we were like, do a lot of marketing for the passenger and the radio station, I'm like, we're talking about it, so I was like, we're on Christopher Street, and then I was like, that's perfect to name the gallery after the street. But then the subliminal name of that too, because Christopher Street, when I lived in Berlin, they called Gay Pride Christopher Street Days.
Wow.
And the whole tie-in with that, because Stonewall, a lot of people don't know, is on Christopher Street. And so, and it's more branded over in Europe in that way. And it's not an LGBT gallery. We do have artists. I'm already planning on the Pride show in June and that kind of thing. So, because I think we had talked about why I'm working with Heaven and Detroit Sound Conservancy and things like that. So we're planning to do that for part of Pride Month and stuff. So yeah, bringing that together and educating people, because that's what's important right now too. Because if we don't, and people are going to be shunned away with what's going on in the community, but they're my neighbors, they're our neighbors, and we're all neighbors, and we got to get along. Mm-hmm. So, and I think if they give you a level of respect and we respect each other, it's going to be better for the community. So.
Yes. And before I let you both go, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Brian, I want to talk to you about some of the upcoming events that you all are going to be holding at Passenger. I know one of them really stood out to me. I hope I wrote the name down, but it was like a witch's recovery. And it was just so cute to me. And I said, that's so Hamtramck. It's so Hamtramck to have a recovery for witches. It's so on par for the community. So the Witches Recovery Service. So a circle. Please talk about how you have these tailored events for the residents that live in Hamtramck.
Well, the important thing to say is that recovery is so different for everybody. And when Sunshine, the witch in question, approached us, and it's a fantastic event. She's also done some rituals for us at the center, and it's one of the many, many things that we offer there. But it's one of our 11 meetings a week, and it's a meeting for people in recovery, and it's a more natural way to make an approach to the world. And again, everybody's recovery is different. So what Sunshine does in those witches recovery hours, we have, I think, usually right now for that 6, 8, 10 people that are there. It's a hybrid event. People are online, as many of our recovery meetings are. It's online and in person, so people from around the country or around the world can take part in it, as they do with some of our meetings. And she's there in person, and it's a very warm, again, we want to be a warm, welcoming space, whatever your approach to life or recovery is. So.
Bryan, thank you so much. I think it just hit the nail, right, a hammer on the head right there, because you literally just hit the intersection of creativity and recovery. So I want to say thank you to Bryan Wolf, Director of Passenger and Passenger Radio, Tim Price as well. I want to say thank you, the founder of Christopher Street Gallery, which is inside of Passenger, for joining us on the Metro today.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Of course. This is the Metro, a production of WDET and a listener-supported service of Wayne State University. And this is WDET FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. Have a great day.